Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's post-game media availability with head coach Vickie Johnson. If you have any questions for Coach Johnson, please use the raise your hand feature, and we are going to go in the order that the questions are received. First, we have a question submitted via the chat. Coach, your team has now recorded at least 6 blocks in 3 straight games for the first time this season. What do you think y'all are doing on the interior or just to help block some more shots over the course of these past 3 games?
I think we just continue to be active, moving our feet. Still have to improve our one-on-one defense, but we're doing a great job of blocking shots.
Next, we're going to go to Doug Feinberg. Doug, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach, it seemed like you guys obviously just couldn't contain their three-point shooting tonight. They hit 15 of 31. I think they hit 3 in the last couple of minutes to sort of extend that lead. Just what was the difference in their ability to hit the threes tonight?
I think we weren't up to touch. Sammy is one of the best shooters in our league. Her release is she probably have the quickest release in the league that I have seen, and I've been a part of this league for 25 years. And then Sabrina knocked down some threes, and also Jazz Jones hit 3 threes, which were crucial as well. So we just got to do a better job of closing the line, forcing them to shoot jump shots.
And also, was just Enrique one of those nights you just couldn't get going offensively, or was it something that New York was doing?
Well, maybe a combination of both. We depend on her to score the basketball. I thought she did a pretty good job on Sabrina defensively. She got a 27 minutes in. Sometimes it's nice like that. Sometimes the ball falls in. Sometimes the ball goes in the basket. But defense, you can never lack on defense. So she did have 3 assists.
Thanks, Coach.
Welcome.
Next, we're going to go to Erica Ayala. Erica, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you a little bit about closing out games. Even before this season, Dallas being one of the younger teams, they give really exciting games down the stretch, but sometimes they can also lead to heartbreaking losses. I just wonder if you have any ideas of what that next step will be for this young team as far as either being able to put it all together all 4 quarters. Do you want to see a little bit more in the 4th quarter? What's your judge on that?
I can't talk about last year because I wasn't a part of this organization last year, but this year. We're still learning how to close games, how to win games, and understanding the importance of the last 5 minutes of defensively and offensively execution, and executing the game plan, getting stops, getting defensive rebounds, and then attacking transition, and going to score or you get to the free throw line. We're still learning that as a whole.
Thank you, Coach. Next, we have another question from the chat. On the offensive side of the ball, y'all have started to really pass the ball well. You've now recorded at least 20 assists in 2 straight games, just the 2nd time this season y'all have done that. What do you think y'all are doing on the offensive side of the ball to consistently now reach 90-plus points and dish out some more assists?
We're moving the basketball. We're being unselfish as we get downhill. We're finding an open person. We're taking our time, making shots. But we preach about passing the ball at least 3 times, making the defense shift, and then see what the defense gives us. Not rush our shots, not take quick shots, not to go one-on-one a lot. Really find an open person and look down. And we're doing that the last 2.
Great. Next, we're going to go back to Erica. Erica, go ahead and ask your question.
Thanks, Andrew. Coach, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Izzy Harrison and the type of player that she's been for this team this season. And do you think that maybe this is someone who should be in conversations for perhaps a most improved player for the WNBA?
Sure. No, I had Izzy in San Antonio. I know Izzy, I know her intensity, I know her ability to shoot the basketball. She has 1,000 moves going right or left. She's just playing with a focus that we need right now off the bench, being aggressive, just being herself. I'm very proud of her. She still have a lot more to give. So on the defensive side, offensively, she's doing great. She's being aggressive. She's doing little things. Rebounding the basketball. Have to get her to take care of basketball a little bit, but overall, I'm very pleased with her.
Next, we're going to go back to Doug Feinberg. Doug, go ahead and ask your question.
Coach, just to follow up on that, I think she had 16 in the fourth quarter tonight for you guys. I know you love bench production. Just talk about her game tonight, how valuable she was for you guys to give you a chance to win.
I mean, she was huge. I mean, you have Didi, you have Odom, you have undersized fours that's trying to guard her. Izzy is a legit 6'3", 6'4", you know, and it's easy for her to just shoot over the top and not fade for jump shots. She was very aggressive. She really did a lot of great things for us throughout the game, but especially in the second half.
Do we have any other questions for Coach Johnson? All right, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Coach Johnson. Next up, guys, we are going to be joined by Wings front court duo Satu Sabally and Isabel Harrison. So just wait right here, guys, and we'll be right back. Thanks, y'all. Next up, we are joined by Wings forward Satu Sabally. If you have any questions for Satu, please use the raise your hand feature, and we are going to go in the order that the questions are received. First, we're going to go to Erica. Erica, go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Andrew. Hey, Satu. I wanted to ask you a little bit about something that Coach Johnson said before the game, as far as you, along with Enrique, being some of the leaders on this team. And I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that role and how you fill that role, and maybe some of the ways that you hope to build and grow into that position for this team.
I feel like leadership roles come naturally, and I think that we've definitely proven that we're leaders of this team, but we also still need to learn a lot. So we see Coach BJ as our leader, and I think that it's definitely a challenge and it's hard, but I mean, I accept it. I think it's a great thing to be a leader on a young team, to be a leader in a WNBA team. Only my second year, it means a lot to me, but we also need to show it on the court, be more mature. We need to do a lot of things better so that we can actually lead the team to win.
And if I can maybe go off of that and talking about not just this game, Satu, but with a young team, a lot of times some of that can be also just knowing what to accelerate at the stretch, the end stretch of a game, and what things to pull back or clean up. Where do you think Dallas is with that right now? And are there some things that you see that can be improvements, particularly in the last few minutes of a game, that might get you over the hump there?
Mm-hmm. What we mainly need to improve on is really being consistent throughout games. We need to realize that we can't just have these highs and then have these lows. Like, that's not acceptable. And we should know that we should hold ourselves to a higher standard and should fulfill it every single game, and not when we feel like it, or not when everything is going right. We need to be able to play through the games and win the games in the end, because when things don't go right, it shows that we have a lot of things to learn, but game by game. And I think that this game has taught us, just as the other games have taught us as well. So we're learning, we'll grow up.
And then I do have one more, if you will indulge me. I'm sure you've spoken about this, but I would like to ask you about being an all-star and what that means to you.
It means a lot. I'm very excited. I'm not really focused on that weekend yet because we have very important games coming up, but I'm super happy. I'm honored that I can call myself an all-star and that I'm in this really special group. And especially as an international, my mom was like, "Oh my God, you're the first German." Like, that's so cool to me. And I don't know. It's just a lot of things that go along with it. But right now, that's not where my focus is.
Well, here's hoping you get to enjoy it soon.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Kelly Whiteside. Kelly, go ahead and ask your question.
Thanks, Satu. Just wanted to ask you about Coach VJ. I know you weren't around when she played with the Liberty back in the day, but anything that you know about her playing career and wondering if she still gets out there with you guys?
Yeah, so she's definitely showing that she was a defensive player, and even in practices she tries to defend. No, but it's a lot of fun. I can learn a lot from her. She's a lefty too, so that's cool. And she has also, played overseas in Turkey as well. And her stories just teach us a lot, and they show how experienced she is, and she can really feel how we feel because she's been through it all. So I really love being coached by someone who's gone through it all too.
And just the significance of her being a former player and sort of the only former, player of color coaching in this league. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. She's actually my first female Black coach. I think she's my third female coach in my entire career. So it means a lot to me. It's really cool to see how women, even after basketball, can be included in basketball and can excel at such a high level. She has great things planned with us, and I trust her. I trust her in her talents and her dreams and her purpose as well. She lives for basketball, and I think that's something great that we need to have. And we can really emphasize with her. She can emphasize with us because she's literally been in our shoes.
Thank you.
Next, a question submitted via the chat. Satou, you had 3 fouls in the first half and then didn't have a single foul in the second half. What adjustments did you make at halftime, or what did Coach Johnson or the coaching staff tell you to work on just to stay out of foul trouble?
I was luckier.
All right. Do we have any other questions for Satou? Next, we're going to go to Doug Feinberg. Doug, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Satu, I'm just curious. I mean, you guys were just right there, and it seems they hit a couple of key threes down the stretch. They hit, obviously, 15 on the night. Was it just something they were doing to get the open three? Is it just one of those nights that their shots are going in?
I think that's on us. We knew at halftime that they're shooting 50% from three, and we just can't allow that. We need to know that we need to run them off the line, not allow them to beat us one-on-one, kick it out, and then the second kick was most of the times a three. So we need to know when to stop their runs, and we all know that we can play offense, but we need to be able to stop that in the end. And I think that this has been another eye-opener. We need to be able to excel down the stretch and compete. I think that in the end, our drive was not there, and it showed. It showed that they had wide open 3-point shots, and of course, a little bit of luck is also there, but Whitcomb is an amazing player and an amazing shooter, one of the best shooters in the league, and she just can't have free shots like that. Other teams don't let Marina shoot like wide open threes, so we need to be able to lock those shooters on the other teams down.
And I got to ask, how proud are you that the German men's team is going to the Olympics in hoops?
I'm very proud. Shout out to the guys. Congratulations. This is amazing, and I'm super happy for them. They've been preparing for a while now and have been just grinding, and it's so amazing to see that they're going to be in Tokyo. So fingers crossed. I'm definitely going to watch the games.
Thanks, Satu.
Do we have any other questions for Satou? All right, thank you very much for joining us, Satou. Hey guys, if you just give us a quick minute, we will be right back with Isabel Harrison. Thanks, y'all. We're now joined by Wings front court member Isabel Harrison. If you have any questions for Izzy, please use the raise your hand feature, and we are going to go in the order that the questions are received. And first, we are going to go to Doug Feinberg. Doug, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Izzy, always good to see you. I was expecting the Yankee cap tonight for you in New York, but I can understand why not. Just that fourth quarter, I mean, I think you had 16 of your 23 in the fourth. You did everything you possibly could to get the team the win. What was the difference down the stretch for you guys against them and why they came out with the victory?
I think the factor that we really didn't focus on too well was those threes. I mean, Sammy came out and hit 6, and Sabrina had 3, Jones had 3, and just, again, you let those people hit those shots, and you just, again, have to dig out this hole, especially with them playing at home. But we should just focus more on that.
Thank you, Doug. Next, we are going to go to Erica. Erica, go ahead and ask your question.
Thanks so much, Izzy. Love the stun of shades you got going on. But I wanted to ask a little bit about the role that you play on this particular Dallas team. I mean, Coach Vickie said that you right now are just playing with a lot of focus. Obviously, that really helped your individual game and the team down the stretch as you were making that run against New York. Where do you see you fitting into this particular team, and what role do you hope to play for this team as we inch closer to the next half of the season?
I still got the same role, bringing, energy and just defense, being a presence out there. And obviously now that these last couple of games, I've just been more offensively aggressive. I know what I can do. I know what my game can do, but I do it within the flow of the offense. So I'm happy with the way that I've been scoring, and I feel like my teammates have been supporting me in that as well. So my role's going to stay the same. I got to keep on bringing energy, but games like this, we got to learn how to close that out. That's what experienced teams do. And we just got to learn, and they're up 2-0 in the series right now. So, again, we just have to learn and prepare for the next time we see them.
Maybe going along with that, I think Vickie has been pretty vocal about saying that Arike and Satou are 2 players that she looks to be leaders on this team, but they're also very young players as compared to you, who has, a handful of years on each of them. So what are some of the ways that you try to, encourage them in their particular leadership style and role on this team?
Just to not get frustrated with themselves. They want to do well so bad, and, I understand that, but being able to, push them on past the next play, which they do well, just pushing past that next play, that will make the difference for us. And again, I don't like to say young, but I think on any given night, we have people that step up, and that's what I like about this team. And with Satou and Arike, they can take over any game. We just have to come out with a better punch and energy. Kind of like New York did a good job with that tonight.
Next, we have a question from the chat. Izzy, you yourself have now recorded a block in at least 3 straight games as a team. Y'all have had 3 straight games with at least 5 blocks. What do you think you guys are doing better defensively to just send balls back the other way?
Just having that defensive rotation. Again, I play volleyball, so I love when I see that. If I see a guard coming down the lane, I'm ready to go ahead and block that. And that happened a few times tonight. But again, I think overall, whether it's me or another post or just anybody, helping that person when we see that driver, we do shell defense every single day. Shoot around, regular practice, it doesn't matter. That should be like in our brains at this point. So everybody has that capability. We just have to trust ourselves that if we help somebody's going to help us.
Thank you, Izzy. Next, we're going to go to Kelly Whiteside. Kelly, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Izzy, thanks. Just had a question. Was wondering if you describe Coach VJ's personality on the sideline and in practice, and also if you have any sense of what she was like as a player.
Honestly, I wasn't able to watch when she was younger playing, especially here in New York, but I know she went crazy in New York, and she definitely doesn't let us forget. She was a player, but overall, I think what she had as a player, being aggressive and just wanting to win, she still has that in her. We may mess up defensively or whatever, but making that decision hard and with effort, I think she coaches that a lot in us. And her personality, I mean, you can talk to VJ. She was the player, like I said before, and she just understands. So, and I've had experience with her in the past. So I like when coaches have that play experience because they know what we go through.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions for Izzy? All right, well, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Izzy. Hey, guys, we are going to have a travel day tomorrow, but we will be right back for Dallas Wings pregame media availability at Minnesota. I believe the tip is 8 p.m. Eastern, so we will be here at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern for Dallas Wings pregame. Thanks, y'all, and see you then.